93.5 FM.
Great morning, Houston. Great morning, downtown, midtown, third ward, fifth ward. Those of you listening in the car at 102.5 FM. Great morning to you that are tapped in through our free KMAZ app. Great morning to you that are listening on our website at www.amazing1025fm.org. I'm Amanda Sapp here on the Amanda Sapp Morning Show at Amazing 102.5 FM, and I'm so excited to be here today with the guests that I have in the studio. So I hope you turn your volumes all the way up. Would you mind if I introduce you?
Please do.
All right. I want y'all again to listen up and listen good. This person, she's an actress, model, and television personality, best known for winning America's Next Top Model. With a successful career spanning fashion, film, and reality TV, she has graced major magazine covers, walked international runways, and starred in hit series like The Young and the Restless and The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is also an entrepreneur, producer, and advocate for women's empowerment. She would consider herself a flower, blessed, humble, and grateful. Please welcome into our amazing studio, Eva Marcille. Great morning.
Great morning, rich rising, humble morning,
Yes.
all those good things.
All of that. So glad to have you in the studio with us today. You there is an aura over you that I cannot describe.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's the 4 words that you mentioned. I'm not sure, but this is my first time meeting you in person. I remember watching you on America's Next Top Model and seeing just the radiance through the screen.
Thank you.
And it still stands. It's
Thank
carrying
you.
over even now. You know.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're here in Houston, Texas.
Yes, H-Town, stand up. I'm so excited. Not only am I here in Houston, I'm here to represent a specific part of Houston, which is the 5th Ward.
Mm-hmm.
We are here doing Jason's lyrics live with music. I like to call it a musical because one of the things that I think makes such a classic and nostalgic Black story is our soundtracks, are the music. The music are our heartbeat and that through line that unites us, that makes it relatable, that makes you like, girl, like I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So this project being based out of the 5th Ward right here in Houston, driven by such amazing, iconic music. I'm so happy to be here.
What drew you to this particular project? What drew you to the project? Was it the music? Was it the part that you would be playing? Tell me a little bit about why you accepted this role and what role you're playing.
So I heard an interview that Denzel Washington did not too long ago talking about, as an actor, the things that you need to have under your chops. And starting out on House of Pain and Young and the Restless, I got a lot of opportunity to learn at a very fast pace what TV and film was. But there is nothing like live. Work. It's nothing like acting on a stage where there are no edits, there are no cuts. You are the transition, and it's all on you. And there's something so authentic and honest in that kind of a performance. And so with Jason's Lyric being such an iconic movie, I mean, I believe for me, it was one of the first times I saw Forest Whitaker. It was one of the first times, well, we all knew Alan Payne because Alan Payne was the man. That's the sexy man. We all knew him.
We all knew him.
But to see Jada in that kind of a role and not Dayton Piccolo on, a different world, and Bokeem Woodbine and just all of the amazing actors that it was a lot of their earlier starts. The film was made 28 years ago, and it reminds me of what I always think about when I think of life. Life doesn't change, but we change. And that is what I think the through line of the story is too, is that there are certain things in life that are not going to change. The world is going to world, life is going to life, but who we are in this life is our personal decision. And that's what the movie is about. And so I wanted to play Lyric, who the character that I played, Jada Pickett's original character, and give that hope, especially with,
right now,
the times that we're living in, politically, economically, socially. A lot of things have changed, and a nice little mantra is cute on Instagram or a little meme, but it's really nice to know that we are moving the needle forward, and that ceiling is truly glass and we can break through it. And that reminder, I think we all need every single day. And so I want to do it on stage and be that vessel to remind the girl like you, the girl like me, the little girl that's in the woman that is you, that you can still do those big dreams that you thought maybe, I passed that time in my life. Maybe I can't. I've got kids now. I'm older. You are lying to yourself, sis. Oh, you lying to yourself.
I never talk about my age. Never.
I just turned 40.
Okay.
I just turned 40. I'm in the club.
When did you turn 40?
I turned 40 in October and my knees started clicking and my eyesight left. And I said, I am officially 40.
I turned 40 October 29th. And
I'm the 30th.
Come on.
We're Scorpio sisters. Oh, me too.
Maybe that's the aura that I was feeling when I met you.
Yes, it's so authentic and so real. I love it.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be 40?
I asked you the same thing. Somebody mentioned something to me about arthritis, and I'm like, how do you get arthritis? How does that even come about? And I don't know. I've had, even with career-wise, it's always thinking about, am I too old for this?
Yeah.
Are people going to see me the same way as they have in the past?
Oh.
Am I going to have the same chutzpah that I've had? You know?
Well, you know what? It's so funny because
I'm going to fix your headset here too. I'm listening to you. It's funny.
I have a little bitty head.
You do have a small head.
A itty bitty head.
There you go. All right. There we are.
The crazy thing about it is that is who Lyric is. Lyric is the one that does not allow herself to overthink. She doesn't allow herself to live in fear. And instead, she lives above the clouds. She lives in a place of optimism and hope in the middle of a jungle where there is no hope, where people have decided mediocrity is enough. That, you know, as long as I have my basic needs met, like it's enough. And so Lyric is that hope. Lyric is that reminder. It doesn't matter what age you are and what you did or didn't have. All of those are thoughts, and thoughts become your reality. So if you think you can't do it, then guess what? You can't. But when you know you can do it, then you will.
I want to be like you when I grow up in the way of your confidence in this age, at this time, with all that's going on in the country and the world. You just sound so ready. Have you always been that way? And did you know at 40 you'd be this way? Or were you 20 and thinking, when I turn 40, I'm never going to, whatever, you know?
We have always been this way. I am a Black woman in America.
Yeah.
So I was born with a level of, as you said, chutzpah, a level of understanding that nothing will be handed to me. But one thing I was given at a young age was knowing whose I am and having a spiritual foundation and something to always pull from when the chips are down, when life's ebbs and flows finds itself in its valley. Your inner dialogue and what you tell yourself, what you think matters. It matters so much. So those thoughts in your head as they come, not that they won't come, but you have a job and your job is to push them away. So when you get that thought that, oh, am I too big to wear this? Or am I too small? Would this look good on me? What will people think? Who cares? Do you care?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Nah.
And then that's all that matters. All that matters is how you feel. You have two jobs in this world.
Give me the two.
Two jobs. Is to focus on your attitude. The two things you can control is your attitude and your behavior. You can't control if someone likes your outfit. You can't control if someone likes your art. You can't control any of those things. You can control your attitude and the way in which you behave. And so if you use that as your template of how you walk out the house, a lot of those questions that you had won't even exist.
I hear a lot of times people talking about manifestation and all these types of things in your 20s. Did you see yourself doing all of the things, modeling, acting, Young and the Restless, House of Pain, Next Top? I mean, did you like imagine that these things would happen for you, or did you kind of like stay in your flow and they happen for you? I don't know if that's a good question.
No, it is a good question because it's a two-part reality. So I knew since I was a child that I was special and that I was different. I didn't know how my difference would affect the world, but I always wanted to be a change maker. That was always what I wanted to do. I went to school for speech communication so that I could fall back on anything from journalism to broadcasting, or push as forward to be Ketanji Brown Jackson. You know, Thurgood Marshall is my hero. And so I've always felt like there was something in me. But I guess the reason why I think God uses me is to remind the world that there's something in everyone. It's not that there's something in me. There is something in me. And what is in me is very different than what is in you. Just like a fingerprint. You notice you cut a tree down, 20,000 trees outside, every single tree trunk is going to have a different print. We have 8 billion people, over 8 billion in the world. And God saw fit for not one of us to have the same fingerprint, even down to a twin. If you can't see the specific love that God has for you, then you're blind. And even the blind should be able to feel it. That's why he gives us senses.
Were there ever opportunities that you received awakenings or revelations or like to help guide you in your path?
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
One of my first ones, and I think it's the way in which I like to operate even now in my career. I remember when I went top model, I asked Tyra, why? Why me? You got all these women. You got Yaya. I went to Brown University. I went to Clark Atlanta. I am unapologetically Black. And so is Yaya. Don't get me wrong. That's my sis. But everyone's beautiful. Everyone has a story. Everyone deserves a chance. So why me? And Tyra said, because you're relatable. When people see you, they see them. And that is your superpower. And so I've taken that with me. And I didn't intentionally decide I only want to do these kind of projects. But what I did is decide that I want to do projects that spoke to me and spoke to my people and told our true story. Not the stories that are already out there that might be very skewed and not realistic, but I want to tell our stories. So like Jason's lyric in and of itself, it is the true Black American story. It is that we were born into struggle. We have had to fight through it. Some of us have given up. Some of us have decided we wanted more for ourselves. And we can all come from the same household, same neighborhood, go to the same school. It's all about how you elevate your mind. Knowledge is power, which is why they didn't want to give us knowledge, because they didn't want us to have the power that is already inside of us. And so when you said that statement about I'm 40, can I do this? Can I do that? Everything you need in life, you already have. Everything you need to be, everything you want to be is already in you. Your job right now is to learn how to access that. That's the work. That's the only work you got to do. And you take it day by day, sis.
Eva Marcille came to deliver a word. And you know what? We are receiving. We're open and willing to receive and to give everything that you have to give. And we really appreciate that. You mentioned Ketanji Brown as, people that similarly, if you had to fall back on something, you'd be doing this or that. Could you see yourself in politics?
Yeah. I mean, I married a lawyer. I ended up in entertainment. That was not what I anticipated, but I thought I was going to law school. Definitely could have seen myself in politics. The frustrating part for me now is I'm such an empath. And so my ability to feel, we're on set and we're complaining about certain things. And I'm like, they're bombing in Gaza. Like they just blew up a hospital with children and women and kids. Like, I need a minute before I do this scene. And so I think like a person going to med school, like, oh, I can do that. And then you see blood, you're like, I don't know if I can do that. That's what politics is for me. But what I have learned is my role in politics is advocacy. And so I am a member of Black Lives Matter. I have been a member since it started, BLM Los Angeles under the tutelage of Dr. Melina Abdullah. And what I do is try to affect change in a small way, because if I can affect someone in a small way, they can affect someone else in another way. And then it's trickle down effect. It's a pay it forward. So if we're having a sit in LA, I'm bringing food down there. I'm sitting with y'all. I'm bringing water. You know what I mean? I do what I can do to make our reality better.
You mentioned advocacy, and I understand that you are a women empowerment advocate for women. You're empowering me this morning. Tell me a little bit about that space and how you are maneuvering and advocating for women through empowerment.
Women, especially Black women, are the last seen respected, as you can see per our last election, in this country. And it is high time that we start to understand not only the equity, but what we bring forward that men can't do. And I love my men. I love my Black men. I have 3 brothers and an amazing father. He's been married and with my mother for 42 years. I think men are amazing. That has nothing to do and can absolutely coincide with the beauty and the amazingness of Black women. If you look at any Fortune 500 company and you look who's holding them things up, it's a Black woman. If you look at where we're at right now, it's because of Black women.
Yeah.
This street alone is owned by Black women. When I drive down certain boulevards in Atlanta, it's like Candy Burris owns this entire block. So my blessings in this business and what I've been able to do and the favor God has given me is not for me. It is for me to make sure that you know you got it too. And if you don't have, it's like a bike without a kickstand. The bike could still ride, but then when you're done riding it, you got to throw it on the ground. A kickstand helps it stay up. It preserves it. And so I'm the kickstand because you can ride. You got out, but don't throw that thing on the ground. Let me hold you up a little bit.
I love it. Eva Marcille is here in the building with us today. You mentioned life doesn't change, but we change. How have you changed?
Oh, I've changed in so many ways. In the way in which I think, in the way in which I ingest, in the way in which I find my gratitude. I'm human first. And to err is to be human. I am so far from perfect. I should most likely repent from whatever I did this morning to today, to now. And it's not even noon. But to have a heart that always strives for best. I strive for excellence. I strive for excellence for those around me. I do not want any of us to settle for mediocrity. I have found the grace, the same grace I want given to me, that is given to me by God on a daily basis. I make sure that I give that same grace out. I was in church last week and we were talking about how to pray. And one of the biggest lessons I learned, forgiveness is cute because we want to be forgiven for our sins. So forgive me for my trespasses. But do we really forgive those who trespass against us?
Sometimes I got to think twice about it.
No.
In my mind.
I know. So that's part of the growth and the journey, is learning how to not find yourself broken by someone that tried to break you intentionally or unintentionally. How to know to hold your head up. Keep that chin high, even if you got a couple of flaps under there. It's okay. Hold your head, queen. Know who you are and live boldly in that. And it's not that it's an easy thing to do, but it's a very intentional thing to do. And in my years now, I don't know if it's motherhood or what, I'm a mom of 3. I have a beautiful 11-year-old daughter. I have a 6-year-old son and a 5-year-old son. And my question is, what world do I want them to live in?
For sure.
And what do I want them to remember from their childhood? So I don't yell at my kids. Not saying if you yell, go ahead, sis. Yeah, that's how you get through to them. But I'm very intentional on how I approach a situation, because I feel like the result a lot of times will find its way better and more pleasing and mutually beneficial for all parties when you put a little tender love and care in it.
How were you able to maneuver your career and children at the same time?
God.
I know in my past, I still to this day kind of speak about repenting. I speak this day repenting to my own kids because I also have 3. But, a lot of times this work calls you to serve often.
Yes.
And in the event that you just can't be there with your kids physically for whatever the reason may be, then whatever you've been called to do, at the end of it, they have missed time with you.
Oh, you got mommy guilt?
Man, what?
Okay, so let's talk to all
trying to get rid of it.
All the women out there. I know mommy guilt is real, but the difference is that we were born in a year where we didn't have to get married to get a credit card.
Exactly.
Or to have a bank account or to get a home loan or to be great. And so since we didn't have to do that, the roles and gender roles that people are used to, which is the woman stays home, is different. I believe that your kids very much so champion you. They are proud of you. They are inspired by you to see that mommy gets up every single day and goes and does what she loves to do for a living, to come home, to provide for us every missed day. God was still with them the whole time. They ain't never been by themselves.
Eva Marcille came to deliver a word today. I don't know if that was your intent, but I promise you receive it.
Good. Thank you. Now I came to talk about Jason's lyrics.
No, but sure. That too. And with that being said, it's coming up. Tell us a little bit about when we can get to it, when you're going to go live. And
no, but I mean, this whole conversation is encompassing what the story is about. It is about hope. It is about elevation. It is about dreaming outside the box. It's about reminding each other that we can be more. And so on February the 13th, Jason's Lyrics Live with music. I call it a musical because it's driven by so much amazing, amazing music. If you think about all the films we really love, it was that soundtrack that kind of pushed that thing forward. Mm-hmm. And Jakarius Johnson did an amazing job with J. Kyle Manziel putting this thing together. K. Michelle is absolutely epic. She is so beautiful inside and out, and her voice is not of this world. Mm-hmm. It is insane. The ensemble, all of the rest of the cast, Alan Payne coming reprising his role along with Trutch. I mean, we have Tyron Turner, the legend, in the building, taking Bokeem Woodbine's character. And so Victoria Rao as the mom, and Mr. Lawrence. I mean, we know him from Cooley High, you know, and Joe Jackson, and now he's on the stage. And there is just such an excitement to be able to tell our stories, and our stories to still be relevant. And it's like that song you play and you tell your kid, like, you don't know nothing about that, you know, because you weren't in that time. So to be 40 years old now, remembering when the movie first came out, being like, oh my God, I feel like I'm Jada. Like she's just an odd person in that town. Like I am her. So now I feel like I have the opportunity to teach the young kids that haven't seen it, and to take those that have seen the movie back down memory lane with the Jakarius Johnson production additions to the whole thing. So we're showing in Houston February 13th, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Get your tickets. Believe me, I've gotten quite a few calls. A lot of days are sold out. And then we'll be back on the 16th of February to give you a one more time in Houston. So 3 days right here, Jason's Lyric Live. It's going down.
Someone might look at you and say, you've done it all already. I see such a shine of it and excitement about this play.
Yes.
With you.
I'm very excited. I love telling our stories. I just really do. And I think that a lot of times we only hear the sadder parts of our stories, or the controversial parts of our stories. But the way in which we weave in what I think entertainment is for escape, which is fantasy, and relatability, which is to remind you that you are not here and doing this thing by yourself. And this play gives you exactly that. It escapes and takes you into our world because we are in theater. And then it reminds you, I'm not the only one with a crazy man. I'm not the only one that thinks this way. And it makes you feel a part of this thing called the world that you sometimes feel so isolated in.
Mm-hmm. We have to wrap this interview up.
Yes, ma'am.
We like to leave fans, followers, listeners, and supporters with something inspiring, something empowering, something they can take with them the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, all the way up to the weekend. What would you like to leave us with today, Eva Marcille?
I am you, you are me. We are in all of this together, and I wish you a blessed and a winning week. Win, sis. Win, bro.
And how do we find you?
On all Instagram or all social media at Eva Marcille, Marcille.
Thank you so much for being my guest here today on the Amanda Sapp Morning Show. Really appreciate you. Guys, Eva Marcille is a flower. She's blessed. She's humble. She's grateful. And she just left or is leaving Amazing 102.5 FM. We appreciate you.
Thank you,
very
Miss
much.
Amanda.
Guys, stay tapped in, stay tuned in, stay amazing.